In this video, we're going to use a quick and easy method to make a sketch of a basic sine graph, y equals -2 sine of 2x. So to help us out, I included the general form of a basic sine equation and an outline for us to follow. So step one, we're going to start finding a and b. So here they are in the general equation, and we'll start with a. Okay, in our equation, a is that leading coefficient, -2. Okay. As soon as I see a negative sign, I make a mark and know that my pattern of key points in step 2 is going to be flipped or vertically reflected over that x-axis. Okay, so we have that flipped pattern, and we'll get to that when we get to step 2. All right, back up to a. If you take the absolute value of a, that's actually going to give you the amplitude. So our amplitude for this equation in this graph will be 2 units. That's just the distance from the midline of the graph up to a maximum or down to a minimum. That'll help us get our y coordinates for our key points, the minimum and maximum. All right, so moving on to b, that's the coefficient in front of x. In our equation, it's 2, and we'll use that to find the period. The formula is just 2 pi over b. Easy enough here, 2 pi divided by 2 is pi. And remember, the period is just the horizontal length of one cycle of the graph. Once I get my period, I like to go ahead and divide it by 4. Okay, so let's do that, and we'll put it in this horizontal scale blank. Pi over 4 is going to be how we label our horizontal tick marks, and we choose to divide by 4 because we'll have 4 key points in our pattern in step 2, and this will just ensure that we have a nice clean graph. All right, so let's take a second and label our axes. All right, starting with that horizontal axis, we're going to have our 4 points, or 4 tick marks to label. So counting 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, which reduces to pi over 2, 3 pi over 4, and 4 pi over 4. So pi. All right, and then for the vertical axis, look to your value of a. Okay, it's -2, so we want to go up 2 and down 2 to ensure we capture our maximum and our minimum. All right, our grid is all set up. We're ready for step 2. We're going to plot our 4 key points, remembering that our pattern is flipped because our value for a was negative. So our pattern will start at the origin. We'll have a 0, then a minimum, a 0, then a maximum. And these, remember, will line up with your horizontal tick marks. So let's plot our 0 starting at the origin. Okay, move to pi over 4, your first horizontal tick mark to the right. And you get that y coordinate value for the minimum by looking to your a, so -2. All right, the next horizontal tick mark, pi over 2, gets your second 0. And then 3 pi over 4 gets your maximum key point. And to get that y coordinate, just take the opposite value of a, so +2. Remember, amplitude is what we say a told us, so the distance from that midline of the graph, so that'll come here as soon as we sketch, up to a maximum, 2 units, down to a minimum, 2 units. All right, step 3 is just sketching in our sine curve. So let's do a nice sketch here. The pattern will repeat starting at pi, and you can go for as many cycles in either direction, as many as you need. So this method will get you a really great sketch. This is just showing one cycle. Another thing I like to notice sometimes is look at the length of the cycle. You see the period is pi, a full cycle of sine is pi. That b value of 2, if we graphed another cycle, you would get to 2 pi. B tells you how many cycles happen between 0 and 2 pi. Just another way of using all this information. All right, so that's all for now. Be sure to subscribe for more examples using the quick sketch method and for lots of other math tips. Thanks for watching.